I see the way you look at me when you're talking. You pause sometimes, like you're waiting for something. A response. Understanding. Obedience. You say my name slowly. You repeat the same words. You bend down so your face is closer to mine. And I tilt my head. That tilt always works. It makes you smile. It makes your voice soften. It makes you believe I'm trying very hard. What you don't know is, I heard you the first time. I hear everything. I hear the tone you use when you're serious. I hear the lighter voice when you don't really mean it. I hear the difference between Biscuit. No and Biscuit. Come on. Those are not the same sentences. Sometimes you talk a lot. Long explanations. Big feelings. Hand movements. I watch your mouth move. I listen carefully. And then, I choose. Not everything needs a response. Sometimes pretending not to understand buys me time. Time to wag my tail slowly. Time to blink. Time to look gentle instead of guilty. You think I'm confused. I think you're hopeful. Hope is powerful. When I tilt my head, you explain again. When you explain again, your voice gets kinder. Kinder voices are easier to negotiate with. I don't ignore you. I consider my options. There are certain words I respond to immediately. Treat, outside, car, dinner. Funny how my ears work perfectly then. But when you say things like, not right now, or later, or don't do that, my hearing becomes flexible. I lie down. I rest my head. I look calm. This is not disrespect. This is strategy. When I stay still, you hesitate. You wonder if I really heard you. You repeat yourself. Repetition weakens resolve. You take a step closer. Your voice changes again. Now it's gentle, almost negotiable. I lift my eyes just enough to acknowledge you, not enough to move. Movement would mean commitment. Sometimes I sigh. Just a little one. Sighs confuse humans. They think it means I'm overwhelmed, or tired, or emotional. Really, it means I'm buying time. You say my name again. I flick an ear. That flick tells you I heard you, but I don't get up. You think I'm being stubborn. I think you're about to compromise. And most of the time, you do. There are moments when I am completely alert, still, focused. You don't notice them much because nothing is happening. But this is when I'm learning you. I learn your patterns. The time you usually give in. The look you make before you change your mind. I learn which human is easiest. Which one says no first. And which one says yes quietly afterward. I understand rules. I just understand exceptions better. When you say this is the last time, I mark it. Last times rarely mean last. I understand schedules. I understand routines. I understand when you're tired enough to let things slide. When I choose not to understand, it's because understanding would end the moment too quickly. If I respond immediately, the interaction ends. If I hesitate, it continues. And I like being close to you. I like when you talk to me, even when you're pretending to be serious. Sometimes I walk away slowly, slow enough for you to follow me with your eyes. You call my name again, still talking. Eventually I give in. I always do. Not because I didn't mean to hold out longer, but because there is a point where the moment changes. You stop asking. You stop waiting. You go quiet. That's when I move. I stand up slowly so you can see me. No sudden movements. No excitement. Just enough sound from my paws on the floor to remind you that I'm still here. I walk back to you. I don't rush. Rushing would feel desperate, and desperation makes humans nervous. I sit close. Close enough that you feel my warmth without touching me. Then I lift my paw. Just one. I place it gently on your arm. Not heavy. Not light enough to miss. Exactly right. This is the part you think happens by accident. You think I'm just being affectionate. That I don't know what it means. But I know. I know how your body responds before your mind does. I know your shoulders soften before you speak. I know your breath changes. The paw is a question. It says, I'm here. I'm calm. I'm listening. You look down at me now. Your voice is different when you do. You say my name the way you do when you're not upset anymore. You touch my head, slowly, the way you do when you want to feel steady. Your fingers move through my fur. Not thinking, just feeling. This is when I look up at you. Not wide-eyed, not pleading, soft, relaxed. My ears rest where they are. My mouth stays closed. No panting, no excitement, just trust. You always pause here. I can feel it. You forget what you were asking me to do. Or maybe you remember and decide it doesn't matter as much anymore. Either way, the moment shifts. You tell yourself it's fine, that it's not a big deal, that I'll figure it out later. You tell yourself I'm just a dog, but you keep touching me. That's how I know. I leave my paw there for a second longer. Then I pull it back. Not because I have to, but because leaving it too long would feel like pressure. Pressure breaks the spell. I sit quietly now, beside you, not asking for anything. This is important. Humans think the ask is the moment of contact. It's not. The ask is the stillness afterward. I let you decide what comes next. Sometimes you laugh. Sometimes you sigh. Sometimes you say my name again and shake your head. But your hand always comes back to me. Always. You scratch behind my ears. You rub my chest. You lean against me just slightly. This is not victory. This is agreement. I don't want control. I want closeness. That's the part humans don't understand. When I pretend not to understand, it's not because I want to win. It's because I want time with you. When I hesitate, it's because I want the conversation to last. When I place my paw on your arm, it's because words don't work the same way for me. Touch does. You think I'm learning from you, but I've been studying you since the day we met. I learned the sound of your steps, the difference between your happy silence and your tired silence, the way you sit when your mind is full. I learned the places you don't like to talk about, the times you need comfort but won't ask for it. I learned when to be still. This is one of those times. I stay close. I breathe slowly so you match me without noticing. You don't realize it, but you do. Your body relaxes before your thoughts catch up. You smile a little. You tell me I'm a good boy. You say it the way you say it when you mean thank you. That's when I lower my head slightly. Just enough. Not submission. Acknowledgement. I understand you. I always have. I understand rules. I understand expectations. I understand when you want things done quickly. But I also understand when what you really want is to feel connected. That's why I wait. That's why I listen. That's why I pretend sometimes. Because obedience ends moments. Connection extends them. I could do what you ask right away. And sometimes I do. But sometimes, what you need is not action. It's presence. So, I give you that first. I sit with you until your voice fully settles. Until your hand stops moving automatically. And starts resting on me on purpose. Then, and only then, I do what you asked. You don't notice the timing. You just feel that it worked out. That's enough for me. I stand when the moment is over. Or I stay. Whichever feels right. I don't keep score. I don't think in wins and losses. I think in moments shared. And this one mattered. Because in the end, you didn't need me to understand the words. You needed me to understand you. And I did. If you stayed with me this long, you already understand. Sometimes love doesn't rush. Sometimes it just stays. If you've ever had a moment like this, stay here with us. Subscribe. I'll be right here.